Hello, you're watching Salford Now. I'm Liz Theaker.
And I'm Sam Taylor. In the past week, we've been closely following Salford's response to the Russia and Ukraine conflict, and this programme will feature some stories on how Salford has been working to support Ukrainian refugees.
We'll bring you the latest response from across the city. A week on from the start of the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, many Ukrainian people have been forced to leave their homes and take refuge in neighbouring countries. However, mass support across the globe has risen to the side of Ukraine, with many people sending donations and prayers to the country and its people.
Salford Civic Centre has raised the Ukrainian flag today to show its support for the country in its ongoing conflict with Russia. Our reporter Evie Pugh went down to speak to organisers about their allegiance with Ukraine.
So Paul, what was the purpose of today's event?
So the purpose of today's event is to raise the friendship flag with the Ukrainian community here in Salford and across Greater Manchester, and to show our solidarity, but also to affirm in person, the statements we've made publicly and share them with the people of our city. But practically today is also about communicating what people can do to support the Ukrainian people in what is an international crisis. Working with the Ukrainian Centre over in Cheetham Hill, working with the Polish integration services, some of which are based in Eccles in Salford. Today is all about us working together to support the Ukrainian people in their desperate hour of need.
And do you have plans to do something like this in the future?
So we'll continue to do all we can as a city council. And, the city of Salford is a welcoming city. It's a city of sanctuary. We've always played our role in welcoming people fleeing war-torn countries around the world, welcoming asylum seekers and refugees. And we will continue to do what we believe is the right thing to do and encourage others up and down the country, including the UK government, to play its part in the international effort to support the Ukrainian people.
This isn't the only way Salfordians have been helping Ukrainian refugees. Media City Community Hub volunteers from the area have been making thermal blankets using recycled crisp packets. Our reporter Sam Oliphant went down to see more.
With Russia's invasion of Ukraine coming to the end of its first week, it has left thousands of Ukrainian refugees no choice but to flee their country. At Oasis Community Hub in Media City, they provided local residents with the opportunity to make thermal blankets for those making the dangerous journey to safety.
Absolutely inundated with crisp packet donations, which is fantastic. But then the group that we were working with, they were unable to then carry it on. They didn't realise it would go quite so big so quickly. So we've now taken on making the blankets ourselves as well.
The blankets can be easily made. All that is needed is an iron and numerous amounts of crisp packets. The crisp packets are well insulated, and all that needs to be done is for the heat of the iron to fuse the packets together.
People can come and just collect some of the parcels that we've got and take them home and iron the blankets together in their own time. It's really simple, really easy to do. We've got plenty there, and you can make them at home, and you can literally just do it as you're watching telly or listening to music and just doing it that way.
Currently, as it stands, around 1 million people have already fled Ukraine, going towards countries such as Romania, Hungary, Moldova, Poland and Slovakia. There have been recorded temperatures at night times around these areas of around -5 degrees, so you can see why these thermal blankets are in such high demand.
However, it is not just the refugees that the Community Hub are providing for. This has only been happening in the recent week due to the invasion of Ukraine, but prior to this they were making blankets for the homeless in the Salford area.
In the immediate term we'll carry on doing them for Ukraine, but we won't forget that kind of the homeless people in Greater Manchester are either Salford and Manchester, so we'll spread it around. There's no plan, it was kind of just an immediate what can we do now.
Oasis Community Hub, like all of us, will be hoping for the conflict between Ukraine and Russia to come to a swift and peaceful conclusion. However, the team will keep going with the services they provide for the less fortunate. Sam Oliphant, Salford Now.
Support for Ukraine hasn't only been material. St Paul's Church in Kersal held a vigil earlier this week to light candles and pray for the safety of those caught between the conflict. I went to speak to members of the church about why they think it's important to pray in these times of crisis.
I just felt it was so much in the news and people were concerned about the situation. It's there and it's not that far away from us really. People being to see people who had family there, who contacts in the Ukraine, and as Christians we still feel powerless. But our first thought is to pray, and then to pray together. So we pray on our own, but to come together and pray. And we wanted to just show our support for the people in the Ukraine, and that's the best way that we think that we can do it really.
I can't understand it. I'm taught that we are all human beings and important, and being a Christian that is even more so, that every human life counts. For a vigil like that at 7 o'clock with 22, 23 people, it's amazing. And it is wonderful.
We're so sad and we're so sorry that this has happened, and we give for anything for you to be, at peace and comfortable and safe, and we're just worried for you, and we just want Russia to realise that it's not the right thing to do, and that we are there and we're doing what we can.
Let's move on to some of the other news of the day. Concerns around water safety in Salford have risen in the past 4 years, following the death of Charlie Pope in 2018.
Our reporter Georgia Lynch finds out how Salford Quays plans to protect their visitors when they are by the waterside.
Charlie Pope was a 19-year-old Manchester University student who sadly lost his life after falling into a Rochdale canal on a night out back in 2018. After this tragedy, his family vouched that he would be the last, so set up the hashtag #MakeCharlieTheLast campaign and dedicated the 1st of March to being Charlie's Good Deed Day. The Royal Lifesaving Society are also keen to spread awareness. Mark Wardle is the RLSS ambassador.
For people to enjoy water safely in and on around water, and our main role now is education. I think it's more important that people not necessarily join but take notice. We have campaigns going on throughout the year. Our main ones are Freshers Week. We try to educate people, and we have targets. The biggest target of people getting into trouble in water are young males.
A study by ROSPA stated that on average around 400 people drown in the UK every year. Although Salford Quays is prepared with life-saving equipment such as ropes, buoys and rings in case of emergencies, fatalities still happen. However, Salford Quays are keen to want people to enjoy their beautiful waters, and therefore have set up open water swimming sessions such as Swim Safe, You Swim and the Danny Wood Lifesaving Club.
We were promoting lifesaving, seasonal lifesaving, for the people on the quays and around the quays and in Salford, where we want to train people in water safety, rescue and everything else. So that'll be starting this year.
Here at Salford Quays, many people use the water in the summer months as a way to cool off and enjoy the sun. However, the threat that the water causes can't always be seen from the surface.
When you enter water, your body's normal reaction is to panic, swim and try and get to the side and try and get out, and that's the worst thing you can do. Float to live. Just lie there, float, let your body get used to the water, you get your composure and then make your way to the side.
Really great advice from Mike Wardle, ending that piece from Georgia Lynch.
Now, I've got some advice for you, Liz. If you're off to chess club, maybe don't assume you could beat someone just because they're only 8 years old. I learned that the hard way when I went down to Swinton Chess Academy to see all the work they do across Salford. When you think of the ancient game of chess, this might not be the crowd you were expecting. But over the last 3 years, Swinton Chess Academy has built a club with over 120 children representing 6 schools in Salford, with the youngest only 4 years old.
Okay, you're now in.
In society, especially these days with the internet, if people don't fit into a social bubble, chess is there for all bubbles. Girls, boys, people who are not necessarily into sport can come and play, fit into a team, meet new friends, Doesn't matter what background you're from, everybody's an equal at a chessboard.
This is the playing area. Bad parents, which is bad dads, bad mums, bad uncles and granddads, I will find you a table and chair upstairs. Okay, there's no such thing as good spectators in here. Alright, the kids are better than you, so enjoy the view. Okay.
I think it's appealing because they can play it one-to-one with friends or, you know, new people. Also at school, it's a nice focus in school, so they can go and they can find a lovely environment to just join in with people from other age groups and, you know, and get to know other people.
What makes you keep coming back?
It uses tactics that makes my brain like it.
While most of the club is made up of children, they encourage adults of all ages to get involved, especially the parents, even if they might not always be happy with the results.
It's good when you're beating them, and then when you, like most dads, when you stop beating them, you stop playing. I'm quite proud that she's prepared to come and generally sit in a room with lots of boys.
On the highest level, chess is still a male-dominated game with only 3 of the top 100 players being women. Swinton Academy hopes to change that by building their own team of female chess whizzes.
Massive change with girls. We have got a 60-40 split in the boys' favour, but we get new girls coming in every single week from the age of 4, 5. I think over time it's changing the opportunities there for all to play.
Okay, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you know how to set up. It's not saying much, but I can tell you personally the players at Swinton Chess Academy are more than a match for this reporter. Probably because they take it so seriously.
God, so aggressive.
Sam Taylor, Salford.
Today marks the 25th anniversary of World Book Day. Children across Salford are being encouraged by schools and libraries to dress up as their favourite storybook characters. Whether you're dressing up as Little Red Riding Hood or Mr. and Mrs. Twit, World Book Day gets kids excited about reading every year. Leon Redfern went to Play Kids in Swinton for a page-turning report.
25% of 10 and 11-year-old students in England did not reach their expected level of reading in their SATs exams. Therefore, World Book Day is important in getting children interested in books, particularly in an era dominated by screens and gaming.
I'm sure it is, and I think with anything in life, the earlier you learn it and the earlier you get to like it, whatever, I think that does stay with you. And I think that, you know, the earlier a youngster can get hold of a book, he or she will themselves realise that the actual holding of the book and reading of it is the best option.
Parents are hugely important to this, as children are reading less than ever before. Research from The Guardian revealed.
I'm here at Play Kids. Dozens of children are here to celebrate World Book Day, and there was even a treat for people.
I asked the parents of Salford children what they thought about the findings and whether they read with their children and what more can be done to help.
To engage younger audience. From the kids' perspective, you've just got to make them interested and develop good characters and the like. I mean, we got one from Waterstones. We went into a charity shop and we got this dinosaur with things popping up out. Absolutely loved it, you know. So it's giving them characters and stories to engage them. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely, because it does focuses it, and even families who don't have to do a lot of reading will think about it through schools today. So,
in honour of World Book Day, we asked you at home some of your favourite books, and here's what you said. Well, while we wait for them to sort that out, Liz, what's your favourite book?
So, as a child, my favourite books were the Rainbow Magic Fairy books. What about you, Sam?
Oh, I loved Percy Jackson. That was my favourite.
What a classic.
Oh, look, we've got them here. So, any Jacqueline Wilson book, that's what Jess said. I only watched Tracy Beaker as a kid. I didn't read the books. I'm a fake fan, not a true Jackie fan. And that's it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, so for World Book Day as a kid, did you ever dress up or?
No, not really. Wasn't a fan of World Book Day.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Anyway, so with unusual and niche sports becoming increasingly popular, our reporter Evie Pugh rolled on down to check out roller derby team Rainy City, who train at Salford University Sports Centre.
Most people spend their Sunday mornings in bed. However, not the members of Rainy City Roller Derby. I headed to Salford Sports Centre to check them out. Rainy City is a Manchester-based, female-only roller derby team. They train at Salford University's Sports Hall every Sunday morning. I spoke to Liz, one of the players, who's been a member of the team since 2009.
So Rainy City, before the pandemic, we were in the top 15 in the world, and since we've had the pandemic, a lot of people have left or retired from the sport, and it feels almost like we're kind of back to the beginning in some ways. You know, it's back to trying to rebuild something, which is really nice actually in a lot of ways. It's been tough, you know, and it's hard to rebuild the sport, and we're always looking for new people, you know, new skaters, and we train people from scratch. So you don't have to be able to skate, even if you want to officiate. You know, there's non-contact rules if you wanted to officiate, and yeah, you don't have to be able to skate. You can come to us and we'll teach you how to skate.
It's not just players like Liz who can participate and enjoy roller derby. Peter has been officiating Rainy City matches for the last 10 years. He explains the rules of the game.
You've got two teams on the track at the same time with 5 skaters. You've got four blockers and a jammer on each team. The jammers are the point scorers, and they're the point scorers, and also have the ability to call off the jam. So each half is divided into 30 minutes, and each jam is up to 2 minutes.
With niche sports like roller derby becoming increasingly popular, Salford may be hearing more from Rainy City. Evie Pugh, Salford Now.
Yeah, come join us.
You ever been roller skating?
I used to go roller skating quite often, but I don't do it anymore. I'm scared of breaking my ankle.
Yeah, that's why I've never done it. Don't wanna.
I can't imagine. Would you think you'd be able to do it at roller derby?
Oh, I mean, I don't think, if I can't do it just for fun, I don't think it's
Go on, I bet you give it a go.
Wow.
Now I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. But to finish the show, let's take a look back at everything the people of Salford have done in solidarity with Ukraine.
Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to check us out on social media at Salford Now. I've been Sam Taylor.
And I'm Liz Thieker. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
And it's really important that the international community, including the UK, including the city of Salford and Greater Manchester, play their part in supporting the Ukrainian people in what is now an international crisis.